Okay. This is going to be pretty rough, just recording this for a friend who's interested in learning the best baits for a beginner bass fisherman fishing primarily from shore, carrying one rod to use. So this is just my opinion. It's not necessarily appropriate for somebody in every situation, but I think for a lot of people, fishing from shore for bass as beginners, this is a pretty good set of baits to start out with. So the first one, and I actually told him this already, I'd recommend is a Bass Pro single tail grub. I really like this green pumpkin magic color. They call it a 5-inch, but it's pretty small. It's not a big bait by any stretch of the imagination. So this, along with a jig head like this, 1/8 ounce, I like. Bass Pro makes a mushroom head jig that works well. This is a Gamakatsu hook. I don't know who makes the actual jig though. But single tail grub, green pumpkin magic, Bass Pro Shops, on a jig. Okay, so after that, I would say another Bass Pro bait that I really like, the speed shad. So obviously, for those of you who are in the know, this is a Kitech Swim Impact imitator that Bass Pro Shops makes. I really like this blue white belly color. These are 3-inch Bass Pro Shop speed shads. You can put them on an 1/8 ounce jig head, just like those single tail grubs. This will be a little bit better in some stained water. So a good option for sure. And the green pumpkin magic would probably be better in water that's got some more clarity. All right, so those are moving baits. Cast them out, reel them in, primarily. Although you can drag them, you can hop them. But the next bait I'd recommend is a Fluke. Probably the Super Fluke Jr. I like this smoke and shad color. Another option would be this watermelon seed. Either of these options good in fairly clear water to some stain. These you would Texas rig on a worm hook. So, I mean, you could use like a 3/0 worm hook like this. You could probably, for those juniors, even go down to a 2/0. So you Texas rig that, cast that out weightless. I mean, you can use like a belly weighted swim bait hook, but this offset worm hook, wide gap, I like these 3/0s for those Fluke Juniors. And you can probably even put a Super Fluke on a 3/0 hook or a 4/0. But so Flukes, and that's sort of a finesse bait. It's less cast out and retrieve like a grub or the swim bait, and instead you would cast that out and sort of twitch it, letting it sink in between twitches, and it's got a really erratic action. So after that, I would say Ned rig. So Z-Man TRD, Finesse TRD. I really like this mud minnow color, or basically the same color. It's called the Deal. So these are little TRDs. You rig them. Z-Man, which makes the TRD, also makes a hook for them. It looks like this. It comes in different weights. It's like 5th, 10th, and 15th ounce. They also started making this heavier duty hook that's got a different kind of keeper on it, because some people complain that the original hooks would bend out. You can also get them with this little wire weed guard. So TRD on one of those Z-Man hooks is the typical Ned rig. So that's number 4 of the soft plastics. The 5th and last soft plastic, I'd say, is a Zoom Finesse Worm. Junebug is a good color for water that's got less clarity, more stain. And the other color I really like is Watermelon Red Magic. So these are Zoom Finesse Worms. And I like to weedless wacky rig them. So you take one of these octopus hooks. I think this is it's a Gamakatsu. I think it's 2/0. They call it an octopus hook, and you can weedless wacky rig or open hook wacky rig that Finesse Worm. You can also put that Finesse Worm on a Texas rig, or you can put it on a shaky head like this. So super versatile bait. So weedless wacky worm, or wacky worm, or shaky head Texas rig, that Zoom Finesse Worm. The TRD on the Ned rig, the Bass Pro single tail grub, and the Bass Pro 3-inch speed shad in this blue-white color. Plus the Fluke, Fluke Jr. So super Fluke Jr. Smoking shad or watermelon's another good color. And you Texas rig that on a 3/0 worm hook. So now for the one hard bait that I'll recommend right now, that I've really gotten into lately, and that's the chatterbait or vibrating jig. I like this black blue color for stained water, or I've had some luck with this. I think it's their bluegill color for water that's not quite as stained. This has a Swim Senko trailer on it, but you know, on this black blue you can actually put one of these speed shads on this. And a tip that I learned on from Tactical Bassin is these as trailers on a chatterbait actually work better if they're mounted upside down. So that's definitely worth a try. And if you were to get one color, and this bait really would be your bait for your dirtier water, I'd get this black and blue. You know, fishing from shore with a spinning rod, you could get the 3/8 ounce, or I think they make even a 1/4 ounce, which is this size maybe. So you could get this in black and blue, or you could get the 3/8 ounce and put the speed shad on the back of it. And with those 6 baits, I think you can fish water that's clear to fairly stained. You can fish slow on the bottom with the Ned rig. You can fish that Fluke pretty slow around cover. It's pretty snag proof, so throw that into lay down trees. That weedless wacky worm you can throw anywhere. It doesn't get hung up. And then the grub, the speed shad, and the vibrating jig or the chatterbait you can throw and cover water everywhere from clear water with the grub to a little more stain with the speed shad to fairly dirty water with the chatterbait. So with that, those are the 6 baits that I recommend for the beginner bank fisherman going for bass, you know, using a medium power spinning rod just walking the bank on his local pond. Give those 6 baits a try.